It doesn't always happen. Uh, all right. So welcome everyone. We're here with Rev Wayne Stills and Lynn Johnson, and we're reading the Impersonal Life by Joseph Benner. And good afternoon, Wayne. How are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing okay. How you doing?
I'm doing really well.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I'm a little out of it. I'm running around with my dogs trying to set it up with them. We have a dog walker that comes in twice a week. So we got our dogs out there because it's beautiful out today. She comes, I mean, she doesn't come in every week, but when we ask her to come in when it's nice out. And so I had to make sure I answered the doorbell. So 2 minutes ago she came and I ran up here and I was here. So
You made it.
I made it. I made it. I made it. Made it.
Mm.
I don't normally come in that early, obviously, but I have. It seems that this timing is I just make it every day, every week. I just make it every week. Um,
It's called just in time, and you don't.
yeah, I'm always what do you call it? I'm always eavesdropping, on the radio.
Oh yeah, well, of course you
I
should
mean, I'm
be.
on the radio. I mean, on the YouTube.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
good.
So
I
you're talking about
appreciate
me. I
that.
don't know.
All right, my friend. Did you have any music, or you want me to just put up the book?
We need to start. We need to start. I mean, one thing I was thinking about, I was thinking recently about I was listening to it and I was thinking about it. There's one thing we can really do in life, it seems, from the perspective so far that I've read and what I know of it from what I've already read, is all you can really do is try to enjoy life moment to moment because there's nothing you can do that's not under the purview of of God's control, of our higher self's control. And since that's the case, there's nothing you can do. It's kind of like with the GPS. There's nowhere you can go where you're going to be lost because automatically the GPS it it makes up for it immediately so fast that you're never lost. And so it's sort of like that. It's just like, no matter what happens, you can't make a wrong choice at all. So you're almost just gonna have to sit there and just go, then I'll do whatever I want. And whatever you want must be, I guess, to seek pleasure and happiness and joy, and try to remember only the good stuff and let go of the bad stuff and try to have the best life possible. What else is there?
Exactly. What
And
else?
and and when we read this, read it with the idea in mind of how can we use this. How can we use the thoughts of our higher self to get that sort of like what the course says. This is not about theory and theorizing with it. This is about applying it.
Exactly.
And then it's sort of the same thing with this. It's about applying it so we can experience a better life. And it's not that it's a better life because we want this is an innately better life. It's just what's the alternative? A
Right.
worse life, a worse life.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
You know,
Or a life of not knowing anything, a life of ignorance, a life
yeah,
of being in
yeah.
the dark.
Yeah. And I
And
mean, bottom line is this: if your experience is negative and you're unhappy, then you're unhappy, and you want to have more pleasure and happiness in your life. I mean, that becomes the measure. If you're feeling down all the time, then you know that your thoughts and your viewpoints need to change a little bit, tweak it. And
yes,
you can know that because any choice you make, all you have to do is sort of commit to it. Because it's, as far as God's concerned, as far as you're concerned, God is making that choice for you, or at least is controlling that thought. It's controlling that choice. It's, it's,
yeah,
it's,
because we're
it's
expressing God through our life, our being. We're expressing God through that. So
exactly,
that's the way it has to be.
exactly. So it's like, what does it have to do? I was sitting there saying, should I do so? I had a question to myself as to what I should do. Should I do certain something? And I said, yeah, well, it doesn't matter if I do it or not. Who cares? Because
Right.
whatever I do is exactly what God wanted me to do.
Yeah, it was your part in the story.
Exactly. So, and the other thing I said to myself was this: I said, but it might lead to different consequences. And the consequences is what now I'm concerned with. So the consequences are going to be fun and enjoyable, or miserable and a bummer. Nothing better, innately better or worse. Just to me, what do I want? What experience do I want? And in that sense, I am creating my reality through my choice. The only choice I really have, which is what do I want to observe in this, what interpretation do I want to choice between the spirits or the egos, between the impersonal God our personal self, or the ego self, which this book doesn't have much respect for.
Exactly. And that's the only choice we have.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and we think we have a lot of other choices, but no, we don't.
Yeah. No, and we have no choices.
About it.
Yeah.
Forget about it. So, do you want to read? I think we're just going to start at the top of the page here.
You read it, so I'm going
Okay,
to
all right. So, he's talking about how he's basically the creation is what is
oh, his expression.
to us is the creation of what we are. So, um, he says, up to this point, while each perfectly expressed some phase of my nature, yet all existing mediums and avenues were unconscious of me and were mediums of expression only as a wire is a medium for conducting heat, light, and power. And I'm just going to go back a little bit because this is what he's talking about. He created all of this uh you know, the sonship, but we were unconscious of him.
Yeah.
We were not conscious of our creator.
Well,
Uh,
it's like a seed. He plants a seed,
right,
and since
right.
it has no knowledge of itself until it blooms completely, I guess.
Exactly. Exactly. And so yeah, we're all of us were here, but we were unconscious, just like if we were the wire in that the power, heat, light, and power is being conducted through. We don't even recognize nor experience it because it's what we are.
Yeah, right. Well, so the Earth moving, or we don't experience the Earth moving because we are a part of it, part
Yes.
of the movement, sort of. So,
Yes, exactly, exactly, exactly. Yeah, that's a really good point, a good way of looking at it.
yeah.
We don't experience the earth as moving because we're a part of it.
Yeah. It's moving pretty fast, actually.
I guarantee you, if the earth stopped, like right now,
We feel it.
die off,
Yeah, yeah. Be a
just go
bummer.
flying off into space.
Yeah. Well, the Earth won't do that. The Earth won't do that. I heard somebody say once the Earth loves us, that's why that's what gravity is. It's love.
That's just the earth's love.
Yeah. Well, he said it was the way we always say, well, I'm attracted to you, you're attracted to me.
Hmm.
And that attraction is about magnets, magnetism, and we use magnetism all the time. So
Yeah,
why can't we say that the gravity, which is the Earth's attraction, is the Earth is attracted to us?
exactly.
Because
Yeah,
it loves us and it must keep it close, must keep us close to us.
yeah.
We'll keep us close to it or her or him. The Earth. The Earth wants to keep us close to him or her.
And we're a part of it. It
Yeah.
it, it can't be
Don't
without.
fly away. Don't fly away.
I mean, this is all one thing here. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So then he says, the conditions were ripe, however, for the creation of mediums through which my divine attributes could find conscious expression, conscious not only of their relationship to me, but of their ability and power to express my idea. So again, he wasn't, satisfied with just having a bunch of clones out here that were,
No.
being. He wanted to commune and communicate
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
something or someone.
He wants to have a playground for himself.
Yeah, yeah,
And he to do that is to create other beings that he can relate to.
exactly. And I mean, I'm getting more and more now realizing that the reason that he just didn't create us and say, okay, now you all know me and love me, was because that wouldn't be our choice then.
Right. Oh,
Has to
well,
be our choice.
the choice. There's an old somewhere it was all things are controlled by God except for whether or not we love them.
Yeah, yeah,
That's up to us. And that's it. It's love or fear. That's what it means. We can only choose whether or not we're going to love the almost unconscious or immediate projection that we have to deal with immediately. Because when you're in life, we get up and we have to do certain things in life, go certain places, meet certain people, and we're dealing with a projection that we're putting on that person usually immediately. And that's what we have to do. We have to say, how can I turn this as much as possible into an extension of love?
Yes.
and we're immediately working on that immediately. We're constantly we're choosing love every second of the day. We're trying to choose love over fear, but that's our free will. That's this is our free will. And
Right.
then the funny thing is, Lynn, it's not even we're not even really that choice is not even really ours. But that's as close as we can get to thinking in terms of free will.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, it has to be ours because it wouldn't be fair if we were just forced into it.
Oh
We
yeah.
really make the choice ourselves.
That's
And
how, so if you ask the Lord what to do, and He says, "Pretend it's up to you."
yes, exactly.
You haven't done it otherwise. Otherwise, that's what I said there. I said nothing I do makes any sense. What's the point of making a choice if every choice I make is fine?
Yeah,
It's like if every choice I make is okay, then I can make any choice I want. There's no stakes anymore,
right.
and that's the truth. There's no stakes here.
Yeah, because what's interesting in it is the possibility that it could be the wrong choice. That's what makes it interesting to us is the
Yeah. Well,
possibility could do it wrong.
yes, it's a game.
That's crazy, but there you
Yeah,
go.
it's a game, and maybe the consequences will not be well, fun. You make other choices, but it frees you up to make any choice you want,
Yes.
realizing the consequences are your choice, due to the choice that you made, and they're yours in the sense that you made them, and then there's no better or worse than any other consequences. You just don't like them. You're giving everything the meaning it has anyhow,
Yeah,
and that's the best we can do here. And then hopefully we get out of here. We have more control over the dream.
this is
Mm, pretty
so
well.
crazy, huh?
Pretty well, yeah. So, I mean, I had a sense of freedom when I had tried. I was thinking that I was listening to it before we got on here, and I was just like, yeah, this is unbelievable. I can do anything I want, anything. If I felt that if I had a big enough soul for it, and I could receive any action I wanted to take, and I could receive it, that wouldn't break down, have a nervous wreck, or feel guilty, or feel like I'm be overwhelmed by the choice. I can make that choice, and it'd be totally fine.
Yep, yep,
No essential guilt. I shouldn't have any guilt. If I get to it, I can do it. And that's what I've been doing all my life. That's how I've made the choices that have come true for me. I've made those choices in that way. And then when you stop when you stop growing, because you decided I no longer can improve in that way. I'm now becoming, weakness is my new choice. And we just, I think, older, we think age, we like aging.
yeah,
And I suppose we have our reasons for aging.
yeah. I mean, they're insane, but they're real.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, we have our reasons for being born and dying.
That's
What they
pretty.
are. I don't know what they are, but I wish I did. I'd share them with you. If you ever find out, let me know. Well, we know, I mean, I know the overall reason. I mean, the specific reason as it plays out in this particular scenario that I'm in. Because sometimes it's hard in mental scenarios. Well, you killed God. You think you killed God.
Yeah,
It's true. Let the
yeah.
filter in.
We can look back at, at any of our situations and see how we're still thinking that
Oh, yeah.
we're still thinking that, we're even by, keeping God out of our business and not, asking God for help when we have a problem, which, I mean, no, I'm a big girl. I can take care of myself, but, that's not the point. The point is I'm not by myself and can never be by myself. So, why not accept that connection that is normal and natural, the connection of myself with my father, with God. Um, and that's what we're basically doing is rejecting the connection. And you that's the choice we really have, not any other choice about any part of it, because
That's
it's
right.
gonna happen.
Yeah, it's
One
sort of
way or
that.
the other, it's a happening.
That's what I've always done anyhow. I've always thought in terms of that's the answer to the answer to every problem is that one thing. Is that we thought we killed God.
Yeah.
And once you do that, it cancels out all the problems immediately when they come up. You can forgive it immediately. And that's the key, is forgiveness. The key
That
is
is
learn to forgive. So because the forgiveness, when you forgive something, it plunges you right into the truth of what's going on here. It's almost like a code. I'm going to say code action. Can it be a code, a choice? It is the ultimate choice for love when you know how to forgive somebody for what they haven't done.
exactly.
You know, and forgive yourself what you haven't done. It totally frees you up completely. Mhm.
Thank God for that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's that's a
yeah,
relief. I feel relieved that you said that just now.
yeah. It's a total relief, and then you're omnipresent to you with God, and then we're all good. That's all good. All right. So where were we?
Okay. It was at this moment. I'm going to go ahead and read unless you want to read.
No, no, no. You read it. You read better than me.
It was at this moment in time that you and your brothers and sisters were born into existence as human expressions, coming into manifestation as you did, similarly with all other mediums, in response to my concentrated thought, in which I saw all the infinite variety of my attributes in actual expression in entitized forms, each manifesting in predominance some particular phase of my being, and each conscious of me, its creator and expressor. Wow.
All right. Well,
There we go.
good guy.
This is
It's one of the things I have to always keep in mind that he says in chapter two where he says we have to keep imagine this is a part of our being talking to us.
yes.
You know, and then think about that, and then you're reading all this. It's like, you know, in response to my contrary to thought, we're observing all this beings coming into. This is us telling ourselves this.
Yes.
It's just, and it's mind-boggling.
It is absolutely mind-boggling, but it makes so much more sense when
Yeah,
you think about it because, then, what are we? We are expressions of God's love.
yeah,
We are. We are extensions of God's love. We are expressions of God's love. We are God's love incarnate. We are God's love in entitized form. I like that. And each of us manifesting in predominance some particular phase of my being. So this is it. We're all here to represent him who sent us.
yeah,
As
yeah.
that verse says, I'm here to represent him who sent us. That's what we're here for, is to represent God or the Christ who sent us here. So
We to witness. So we're here to witness to the Christ and to the truth. It's not
uh,
so much just we're here to have a good time. I mean, we are in that. That's what gives me the most joy is to when somebody does something that they feel ashamed about, is to remind them, hey, you don't need to feel shame because this is not really you really didn't nothing wrong.
yeah,
There's no wrongness there. There's no thing there.
yep, yep.
You
No,
know, and so yeah, yeah, so,
exactly. Like this is not real. This is not really happening.
yeah, yeah,
But we are here just to express that we're here to express God in whatever and that makes me, I look at myself and I realize that yes, that's all I'm doing is expressing God in the way that God made me to express.
exactly, exactly.
Ah,
And he made us to express ourselves through this body as the body as a tool for expression. And either we'll do it through the ego or we'll do it through. But see, if we do it through the ego, and I have no problem with the idea that that's going to happen. I'm not walking around under any illusion that I've been egoless for the past 6 months.
no.
You know, so as long as I know that's going to happen, then I'm fine with my life, with the forgiveness and with being. I don't have low expectations, but I know people are trying.
Yeah. Well, you can see it from a different angle.
Right.
You can just see it from, that's not, I'm not even doing that. I'm not even doing these things. These things are just being done, and I am here expressing them. I'm here experiencing them. And yes, because, how could God experience this if he didn't, couldn't come through us to do it? That's what he
And
made us for.
you said it last time. You said God sees what we see. He sees it his way. He sees it the right way.
Yeah.
You see the same thing. You see the same thing. The same. You see the same form, but the content. I mean, if I see somebody that I love, if I see somebody doing something, I can interpret it one way, and you see the same thing, you interpret it the other way, and the actions become totally different. The form is totally. It looks totally different. You have two different experiences of the same thing, and that's what people have different opinions about what's going on there.
Yeah. And I mean, you see that in, throughout all of our stories of our culture, that there may be somebody who's like who we call a bad person, but they have a mother who loves them, and you
Right.
see the life of the person that is the loved son, the loved child, who grew up and did something that other people didn't like so much, but they're still, in the mother's eyes, like in my eyes, my children are just beautiful expressions of love. So, I would be sad if my one of my children murdered somebody or robbed a
Of
bank.
course, of course.
I would be sad about
Brutal.
choices and doing those things, but I would never stop loving them. I would never stop seeing them as I see them now.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing about family. Family is a great, it's a great example. I mean, all families, but all things being equal, families that can be very holy relationships because you love each other. It's not romantic, but you love the person. You can love your children or your spouses or even cousins and uncles more than anything, but you don't have to have the same opinions about anything. You can all have different opinions about everything. You have different parties, different politicians, about politics, even different religions sometimes. It's just fine. But I have a different spiritual point of view than my wife. Not totally different, but it's semi-different, and different politics than my wife. It's just a little bit different. So you can do all that kind of stuff, but you have massive amounts of love for the person. And anything that comes up which does come up in family, and negativity that comes up, and you force a good family, you release it.
Yes.
You don't bury it. You see it and you release it and you let it go and you basically you forgive it.
Yeah. Yeah, and you love them even more because you can be honest with each other about the way that you see things and not hate each other over it. You
Exactly.
can see, that that's what makes you how you are, and that's what makes me how I am.
Right.
And we're expressing ourselves perfectly. Uh,
Mm.
and yeah, I see that because I have family that think way different than I do.
Yeah.
Describe how
Yeah.
they think.
And you love them. You love them just as much as if they felt the way you did.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, of
No,
course.
I'll go to the family reunions, but I won't talk about, politics or religion, or, I talk about real things. Like my sister, I talked to her, she and she's like total, Nazarene church, very right wing, um, you know, uh, Republican, blah blah blah, all that whole thing. She has 32. They just had my nephew and his wife just had a new baby. 32 grandchildren and great grandchildren. My sister had
Wow. That's,
32 as of today.
good God.
They're expecting another, but she had like 6 kids, and they all went out and had kids of their own, and then their kids grew up, and then they had kids, and like she's got this huge, like a huge family,
That's
and
wow.
they're at odds with each other. There's
Yeah.
every week it'll be, oh, now April's not talking to me. Oh, now, Kevin is not talking to me. Oh, now, Teresa's talking to me now, but now, and she's like, it's like a huge, crazy family dynamic. But it in the end, no matter what, and they had a lot of drama. Her daughter, my niece, got COVID and died. And they were all like anti-vaxxers and they're thinking it's a government plot and all this kind of stuff. So there's a lot of drama that went on in that family. And, me over here thinking, I'm rational and reasonable, I'm not going to get involved in any of this stuff.
Right.
But it's hard not to when you see, the people you love, first off, dying
Oh
and
yeah.
everybody else knocking their heads against each other over, whose fault it was. And, they finally ended up saying it was the hospital's fault that she died
Oh, yeah.
because they did something they shouldn't have done, which she had COVID. She was intubated. She was
Oh, yeah.
she just like all.
And this was the beginning what I was talking about. Was obviously wasn't at the end of the pandemic.
Never.
It wasn't at the end of the pandemic. That's what it was beginning.
No.
Oh no. I just know that in the beginning of the pandemic, more people were dying from it than in the end.
Yeah,
So,
it was in November 2 years ago in
oh
November.
wow, that's terrible.
So yeah, it was still raging. So
Yeah, right, yeah.
it was raging so that the hospitals were putting people in the hallways and
Oh, yeah, right. That's
they
what I meant.
had
That's what I meant. Yeah,
trucks outside, freezer trucks
right,
for all the dead
right.
bodies. And it was that. And how she could have come up with, the hospital was what caused it when it was just evident that people were dying all around us. But they could never admit, what you know what the real issue was. And the real issue really isn't even any of that stuff. The real issue is that we think we're here to live in a body.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, my brother was the same way. He was an anti-vaxxer. He wasn't an anti-vaxxer for the same reasons, though. It had nothing to do with the government. He had to do with that's more had to do with the medical profession.
Uh-huh.
He was health. His wife had more to do with health. I mean, the kid she had Tourette's for a while when he was younger, and she blamed the doctors for the medicine, and so she didn't want to go back to the doctors. So she just said, I'm not going to do anything." So, but they're healthy. None of them got sick ever. So
Well,
what can you say to them?
yeah, very lucky.
If they didn't get sick, they didn't get everyone else sick. They stayed home most of the time. And they live in Florida, no one lives near them. So my mother, but she never left the house. So I don't know what to say. Oh, there were times when they were sick. They had like temperatures and stuff, but they got over them. So they probably had it and didn't even know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And
A lot of people probably had it and didn't even
they'll
know
say,
it.
well, it wasn't anything too bad.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so but but that I mean the whole idea is, that's what we're here for, is to act out this whole drama.
yeah, yeah,
And so that's what he says. I'm going to continue reading.
yeah.
I saw you in perfect expression, even as I see you now, the real you, an attribute of myself. Perfect.
Right. Excellent.
That's it. For in reality, you are an angel of light, one of my thought rays, an attribute of my being, ensouled in earth conditions with no other purpose, in parents, which is no purpose at all, but a necessity of my being, but the final complete expression of my idea. In the eternal, there is no time or space or individuality, and is only by reason of the phenomena of thought being born from the womb of mind into the world of matter that the illusions of time, space, and individuality occur. The thought or creature acquiring the consciousness of separateness from its thinker or creator. See, this is really explaining things just exactly the way the course. I mean, it's not using the same words because in the course they're mysterious. It's like, do you not see this and that? You
Right,
know,
yeah.
try to figure it out. This is just straight up saying it out. Hey, there's no time or space,
Yeah.
uh, no individuals. The only thing that you're experiencing is a thought that came from my mind into the world and made up matter, turned the illusion
Mm.
of time, and this is how it came into be. No mystery trying to figure it out or anything. This is how it came to be.
Yeah,
And
this is yeah.
what are you going to say?
No, this is like it's for Truth for people on the go.
Yeah.
People on the run. People that have done time so kind of like that stuff that Waddles stuff. Remember that stuff? Waddles. Remember him? He came out with all those books on how to be rich, how to be great, and how to be. And it was also inspired the whole
Yeah. Yeah.
it inspired the whole movement of
Oh, yeah. Yeah. What was
yeah.
his
Wallace Waddles.
Okay.
Yeah, he wrote
Yeah.
that whole but he wrote them a long time ago.
I remember seeing Dare to Be Great. So,
Yeah.
you know
So,
why? Because Weird Al Yankovic has a song called Dare to Be Stupid.
That's more like it. All right. So, all right, so where were you?
Okay,
In other
so
words,
uh let's see. In the beginning, okay, let's see.
in other words, I
Okay,
think.
so it was
Uh,
that the first tendency to think yourself as separate from me was born. The complete consciousness of separation did not become established until long after. In the beginning, when you thus first entered into earth expression, obeying the impulse I had sent forth through my concentrated thought, you, one of my attributes, surrounded or clothed yourself with my idea of myself in expression as a particular attribute you represented, you being the animated force of that idea. So this is what he made us, and he said, dress up in whatever outfit you want to be in, and you are going to be the animating force of this particular idea. And so if you want to be a man or a woman or something in between, if you want to have a family or be a business person or be an adventurer or whatever it is, you are the animating force. You dress yourself up the way you want to and
yeah,
go out into the world and play the experienced game that you want to play.
exactly. And then you are one with what was it? Yeah, all right, I feel what I was saying, but you're right, yeah. So get out there and have some fun. Do what you gotta do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because everything comes from in the thought. Oh yeah, and you are. What was I gonna say? You are almost like you're. It's almost as if you're a cell in his body.
yeah.
Because he keeps saying how you are my attribute. So
Right.
we're almost a part of him, literally.
Yeah,
The more literal I can get a hold of that, where it's not a metaphor for something, but it's an actuality. That we are part an attribute of God. So God, if let's say you decided to dress up, but put the clothing on of a businessman. So you're God, you can pull from God's business energy. Because
yes,
his attribute of businessman, his
yes,
businessman attribute. And so because he expresses himself as a businessman. Because if you're a businessman, and God has expressed himself, he is expressing himself as a businessman.
right. And you're going to do it in all variety of businessman that could possibly be. Somebody's going to pick, I'm going to be a good businessman. I'm going to be a crooked businessman.
Right, exactly.
Be a sleazy. I'm going to be you're going to play all the different parts of it. And it really is like that dark city thing, because
Right.
that's, we can be exchanged in any lifetime.
Exactly.
I could come in and be Hitler,
Yeah.
I could come in and be, I mean, because we're all part of it, playing these parts.
Well,
So
they can change it up day by day. That's what they did in Dark City. They change it up day by day.
yeah, yeah.
Every night they change it up.
Every night they got,
It's-
and you know what made me suspicious after that? Every morning I wake up thinking, am I the
I,
same?
I know. Tomorrow I can be you and you can be me.
That's right.
Yeah. But one guy went crazy when he found that out. He went nuts.
Yeah.
It's all a joke. It's all a hoax. It's the biggest hoax. It's all a joke.
Yeah.
But everything was. Remember, he said, I don't really think he cheated on me. I don't think we met until last week
Yes.
to his wife. And she said, what the hell are you talking about?
How can that be?
Yeah. They've been married and they had she cheated on him, a big problem. They've seen therapists about it. And then he goes, oh, yeah, we met last week.
Yeah. 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 And that was, I mean, that's mind blowing, that whole movie,
Oh,
what
yeah.
concept that is. So let's see, where am I at? Okay. All right. So,
In other
okay.
words,
In other words, my idea of myself expressing that particular attribute then became the soul of your particular expression. But that idea or soul is not you. Remember, for you are really a part of me, being myself in expression through the medium of that particular attribute. And so again, he's pointing it back to, yeah, you're out there playing this game, but remember, you're really just a part of me. I'm experiencing the world through you. I'm experiencing everything that's happening through you in whatever way. And as we were talking, I was thinking, this is just like, of course, we talk about the script being written, and it's like a whole script, and but it's a script that includes everything that ever could happen and everything that ever happened. And so we're just picking and playing our parts. This time I could be, a farmer, and next time I could be the king, and I we just pick and play these parts, but they're all just part of the script, so it doesn't really matter who's playing it.
that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, whatever choice you make, it doesn't matter really.
Yeah,
You're always playing the part. You're always playing the part you're supposed to be playing.
yeah,
And it really doesn't matter at all. Play any part you want and play it big if you want.
yeah,
Worst
yeah,
comes to worst, you fall. I mean, I had an acting teacher who once said, "It's not about falling and getting back up. It's about falling 100 times and getting back up 100 times."
that
He said,
that's it.
if you can do that, then you have a chance.
Yep, yep. Not take it seriously, not
Of
think that
course.
this is the best or the worst thing that could ever happen. Just know that it's just what's happening now.
Exactly.
That's all. Okay, so let's see. In other words, did I read that?
Yes, I think I'm having clothed
Having
yourself.
clothed yourself with my idea, this idea then, through the necessity of its being, immediately began to attract to itself the necessary thought substance requisite for the expression of that particular attribute. Let me move this up. And to build and shape it into my image and likeness. It thus became a holy temple filled with my living presence because inhabited by you, one of my divine attributes.
Yeah, it's worth noting that when he says the thought substance, at that time there was this idea, and I don't know, I guess it still makes sense today. I think it's relevant that thought was something was actually a substance. It actually had substance, maybe a bit like matter does.
Yeah, which I mean, that's kind of,
Yeah.
the course says all thoughts are, what is it? All,
Not a neutral. They're all creative.
yeah, all thoughts
Also,
create form on some
yeah,
level.
yeah, they create something. Something.
Yeah.
All thoughts are not neutral. They all create something. All thoughts create something. So yeah, so they're all. So that's if you think of that all thoughts are things and they create everything and they're solid. They're more of a solid thing.
Hmm.
That's sort of what they all if you unity, unity has all the thoughts substance run through your body. Memories are actually a substance, and that's why you can if you let go of them, you free yourself up.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, that's a lot of that has a lot to do with why when if you free yourself over the past, you're letting go of an actual energy.
Huh.
So this is very popular back in the New Thought movement. If you read a lot of the about thought and what thought is, it's every bit as real. The matter I don't call it matter, but it's the same thing as there's only one substance in the universe. Look at it that way. Only
Right.
one substance. So the same thing you're looking at is the same substance that's in your mind. So whatever
Wow.
you want to call it, it's all mind. Everything's mind. Stuff that
Uh,
you look at inside and stuff in your head. It's all the same substance. Stuff on different vibrational levels.
so interesting that how they get these ideas. I mean, it's interesting to me how we got our ideas. So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
so interesting. So okay, so Okay, so this temple being in my image and likeness and composed of my thought substance, surrounding and clothing my idea, is consequently your real body. It is therefore indestructible, immortal, perfect. It is my complete imagined, imaged in, oh, I like that,
Mhm.
imaged in thought containing my living essence, awaiting the time when it can come into outer expression and take on material form. So now we have first, I am expressing as you one of my divine attributes. Second, my idea of you, one of my attributes, expressing in earth conditions or your soul. Third, my imaged thought of you, forming the temple of your soul or your soul body in which you dwell. These three make up the divine or impersonal part of you, the immortal three in one. That's interesting, three in one. You, my latent yet completely formulated thought, shaped in my image and likeness, as yet unquickened and therefore having no connection with your human personality, which has not yet been born. So here he's talking about how he first created us, apparently.
Even the part of us that is around. The body might die, but the part of us is just around no matter what. It's always there.
Yeah,
It's like,
right there.
it's always, when we die, the Twilight Zone where the old lady was scared to let the cop in.
Mhm.
She was terrified because she thought the death was at the door. She was afraid of death, but the building was condemned. So they refused. She wouldn't, but she wouldn't let him in. She said, "No, no, no, I don't, you're dead. You're dead. I don't know, you're dead. I seen you staring at me on the streets and so forth." And the cop was trying to get in, but the cop was also Robert Redford, very young Robert Redford. Anyhow, so he gets in there finally, and I'm shot. I didn't to lie down. It turns out that it was death, and what he says is, "Well, look, take a look over to your bed." And she was lying down. She didn't even realize that she had already died.
Ah,
Like 2 minutes before that, she didn't even feel it. And he goes, "Just take my hand and we'll walk away." And she took the
uh,
hand and they walked away very peacefully and she was all happy.
yeah, if
He
Robert
goes,
Redford came and
yeah.
got me, I'd be doing that. Hey, where do
You
you
know,
want me to go, sir?
yeah, yeah, well, he's been part of the angel that threw her away. But it was unbelievable. She had no idea it happened. And if you're in a certain place where you're ready to wake up, where you're close enough to it, you're in a high level of consciousness. It should be that you suddenly you're looking down on your body.
Yeah,
You
which
know,
I know people, and I don't know if you've ever had that experience, but I know people who have had that experience, and come back. My mother had that happen when I was born. I think I've
yeah.
told you that. I don't know if I have or not.
No, no.
That when I was born, we lived up in the mountains. We live in Colorado. Lived in the mountains. It was about a 30 minute drive from the town we lived in, which was Idaho Springs, to get into Denver and get over to the hospital. So uh, they were not going to. All my other sisters and brother had been born at home, so I was born in the hospital because she was hemorrhaging really badly, and they decided in the middle of the night, and this was February 9th, they decided that they had to take her to the hospital. It was a big bad snowstorm, and so they took her in an ambulance to the hospital, and she got to the hospital, and she was hemorrhaging so bad they took her in the emergency room, and she actually died.
Oh,
Like her blood pressure, everything, man, gone. And she left her body while I was being born, right?
wow.
I was being born, and she left her body, and she looked down, she saw us, she saw the doctors, she heard them talking to each other, and it was real interesting because it was a training hospital for they had international students. They had people there that spoke different languages. She understood what they were talking about. She understood what they were saying. she could see into the other rooms, like how the emergency room is, there's other, she could see other people in there, that had gotten in a car accident, and other things that were happening. She heard and she saw me, all this stuff, and they worked on her body and finally got her back. She didn't go, there was no light at the end of a tunnel or none
No.
of
Yeah, but
that.
it was it still shows that she had a lot the mind can do.
Yeah, yeah. So but she did. She saw she saw her body. She saw me,
Yeah,
doctors and
because
everything.
that spirit, the spirit within her was almost separated from from her body.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. And then, so she came back, and that's when she would tell me that when I was little. I mean, that was the main story. I mean, it was like, kind of a big deal. People
Yeah,
were
I think so.
impressed with that. That wasn't like nowadays, people are having near life or near death experiences all over the place and writing all these grand stories about angels
Right.
and all that stuff. But you
And
know,
the
yeah,
acronyms, the acronyms for it very popular.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So no, that was 1953. It was not something really knew about or talked about. So, um, but
That's
that's
crazy. That's crazy. That's cool. Make you feel kind of special. I think.
yeah,
You know, you kind of
yeah,
like, well, had an ND right when you were born. It's amazing that they can still work on her. She had the baby, but she was dead.
yeah, yeah.
Really.
Yeah, because she had hemorrhaged so much and her blood pressure just was it was like she went into like heart failure and um everything because like I said she was clinically, I mean, they didn't have like hooked to her brain to see if there was any thing going on there. This is before they had that kind of technology,
All right.
but it's as far as
There
they
was
were.
obviously someone on there, but she was alive. I mean, I don't know how the brain works in these situations, but I assume there's something going on in the brain when you're hovering above the body.
Yeah, yeah.
I assume that the brain is somehow transmitting something.
Yeah, I mean, she was obviously connected, and she came back. And that's why I always wondered why she was worried about dying, because she knew that when she died, she just was there. She didn't go anywhere.
Yeah, yeah, she be all right. She
Like,
proved it. She proved it.
yeah,
Okay.
she proved it. And,
Yeah.
but then her whole life she was worried about it, dying. And I could never figure it out. Why are you worried about dying?
Well, that's the whole point of Jesus beating death. That was all that about on Easter. That's what he proved it. That's what I meant. He proved it. That was the whole point. One of the major points of him beating death, resurrection, was for me at least, was he showed us that there's nothing. Death is not real, or at least you can come out the other side of death.
Right.
And he reincarnated his own body, which is a tough trick.
Yeah. Which is really. But I think he explains that too in the course that we're all just basically creating our body all the every moment.
Oh yeah,
So
very quantum.
just
Everything, every moment. Uh,
yes,
Everything is happening moment by moment by moment. We're creating. People talk about uh, the creationists are arguing with the evolutionists. 7 days are happening every day, happening right now. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Right now, it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. Time is happening in the present.
yeah, and I think that's kind of what he's saying here too. That time was a thing that God all made up in order to make this thing work.
Yeah, in order to trap us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Really, it's a part of the formula,
yeah, yeah.
the time and space. So.
It's part of the trap.
Okay, we have about 10 more minutes.
Yeah, I wanted to play a song actually.
Okay, that's a great idea because I was thinking let's start this next section, the Garden of Eden, next week.
Yeah, I think so. I think
Stop
so.
that and I'll give, and then you can play a
Yeah,
song.
one of the songs I wanted to play was actually, I think, but it's a good song for the idea of the spirit within that stays around when you go. And it's the boxer. You remember this one, the boxer?
I love this song. Yeah.
Yeah, and what's interesting about it, I'm suggesting when you hear him say la la la, la la la, the word that is being used is lie, Lie. So imagine I'm not sure, but just imagine for a moment that what he's saying is lie, like the whole bunch of all lies, everything's a bunch of lies.
Yep.
And the song takes on a whole new energy. It suddenly becomes a very strong song about how life is a bunch of crap, but still at the end, the fighter still remains.
Exactly.
You know,
Yep.
and it really hits home. So this is because when I first heard it, you think he's saying la 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 la, but you look at it, it's really saying lie lie la 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 la. And it's something he's just saying, oh, everything's big. Listen to the words, and it fits in perfectly.
All right. I'm
Right.
anxious
So,
to hear.
all right, so let me just get going here. Hold on. I have to redo my sound because if I'm not mistaken, when you shared your screen, I lost it. All right. All right, this is a boxer, Simon the Garfunkel. Long time in the 1960s, somewhere. Early 60s, mid 60s. Simon Garfunkel. Um, what
Song.
did what did you think?
I love that.
Yeah.
I just, it's so beautiful and, it's all orchestral. They have all that beautiful strings and, instrument. I mean, it makes it so dramatic and so beautiful.
Well,
I just,
and when I put the word lie there, when you think of it that way, the whole song became, I don't say it's depressing, but it just became so much more depth to the song.
yeah, a lot. Yeah.
There's no lies.
Yep.
He's looking for a job. He's
Left home,
lonely. Yeah,
nothing but
left home.
loss.
Yeah, exactly. You heard that song before? Oh, you never heard that song? Oh, it's a great song.
Oh gosh,
Yeah,
yeah, that's on the Bridge Over Troubled Waters album.
yeah,
I
yeah.
I listened to that album 10 times a day with for
Yeah, it's awesome. One of the best album in the world. That is also Sound of Silence on that album, I think, isn't it?
oh my goodness,
Yeah, it's a good
all
album.
of those.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks for listening in. I hope it was helpful, and I had a great time as usual, Lynn, with reading that. Every time I read it, I get empowered.
Me too. It's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to next week.
All right,
All
absolutely.
right. So I'll see you tomorrow.
All right.